Good morning. Welcome to Take Our Kids to Work Day this year. Is everybody excited to be here this morning? All right. My name's Elena, and I am lucky enough that I get to plan this event every year. So I hope that you all have fun today. And if you have any ideas, you can tell your parents to email me, okay? So, Sophia, my special assistant today, is going to introduce our next speaker, okay? Okay.
City Controller Margaret Lanier.
Good job.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. So not to get matters mixed up, I am Margaret Lanier, and I'm the city treasurer. There is also a city controller, but that's Michael Lamb, and I'm the city treasurer. But you were close, Sophia. Thank you for being close. I was asked to speak today, and I said, well, I'm speaking to a group of children, and why does the children want to hear about what a treasurer does? So I'll try to make it as interesting as I can, but I guess I want to see hands and want to know, does anyone know what the treasurer does? What is a treasurer? And I want to ask the kids. Yes, what is the treasurer?
Handles money.
Handles money, very good. Yes, young man.
Moolah.
Moolah. Okay, Landon, what does the treasurer do?
Sells properties.
Sells properties. Anybody else? Anybody else knows what the treasurer? But those were very good guesses. First of all, everyone calls me the money lady. When I introduce myself, oh, this is Margaret Lanier, she's the treasurer. Oh, she's the lady with all the money. No, she's the lady that collects all the money, but she doesn't have the money. So the treasurer is involved with treasury management, real estate, business taxes. What we do is we bill and collect for taxes. A lot of your parents, you own your homes. They own their homes. There's taxes, yearly real estate taxes that your parents have to pay for their homes. The city collects that. If your dad or mom has a business and they run that business and they have employees, they have to pay taxes. They have to pay taxes for those employees. They have to pay taxes for having that business. So get ready, because the rest of your life you're going to always be paying taxes. So that's why you need to stay in school, you need to have a good job, and you need to pay your taxes. Another thing I wanted to tell you is a lot of what the treasurer does, we take in money every day. We have cashiers on the first floor. People come in, they get park permits. They want to pay their real estate license. They want to pay their water bill. They can pay it to cashiers on the first floor. So we have actually people down on the first floor that collect money. In any given day, we can get over $10 million in cash. When we do get a lot of cash, being that we're not a bank, we have to call a police officer and get an escort to the bank. Because right now we don't have the facility to direct the money directly to the bank, dealing with cash. Then what happens is a couple of my employees, what they'll do is they'll go down to the facility in Lawrenceville, in the Strip District, to take cash. But usually on a daily basis, what happens is we have a lot of checks, and the checks are usually taken over to the bank. But as far as everyone saying you're the money lady, I guess they say that because when your parents receive their checks, my name is on the check. So it's really interesting because the first time I got my paycheck and it didn't go directly to the bank, and I looked and I said, oh, Margaret Lanier. Oh, my name is on the check. And I had a few friends call me and said, oh, so you signed a paycheck? Yes. Now that's the good part about it. But when we have someone that pays their bill or they pay for something and they overpaid, and they're looking for a refund and they haven't received their refund, the calls start. I want to speak to the treasurer. We want to speak to the treasurer. The treasurer, I didn't get my refund check. We were supposed to get a refund check 4 weeks ago. So it's a good side and it's a bad side. Even though I signed the checks may not come out of my department. You may overpay it on a park shelter and you're getting a refund back, so it's up to the park department to process that money and send back to you. But of course, the city controller and the city treasurer's name would be on that check. So I just wanted to tell you what I love about my job. I love to be busy, and working in finance, you're always busy. The busiest time of the year is at the beginning of the year when the real estate taxes go out. We bill probably about 30,000 or more accounts, and the bills are sent from a vendor to the homeowners. But what happens is when the people start to pay, the payments come through our department. And that's a really busy time for us because we're processing payments and trying to make sure that no one's check is sitting around or laying around and the money's in the bank. We collect money for all departments throughout the city. And we're responsible for banking that money and making sure that that money goes in the bank, and then so we can pay all the city bills. Because as we're collecting the money, the money's being put in the bank, and the money's for payroll. It's for paving. It's for equipment. It's for all city purchases that have to be made. And believe it or not, today is a great day because we have $60 million coming in for capital funds. So we're looking forward to that. But we'll be responsible for putting that in the bank and make sure that, until we get to use it, we'll collect good interest on it. So I love my job. I have a staff. In my department, there's probably about 52 people. I report to the finance director, who's a great guy to work with. But my basic functions is the treasury functions, to make sure that the operations are running correctly, make sure that money's coming in and that money's going out to the bank. The people I work with, I have a lot of respect for because I have good people that enjoy what they do and they do their job very well. Majority of my people in my department, I would say, is 10 years or more. I like to have new people come into the department because I like to mentor people and explain a lot to them about what I do and how I got where I am today. And if it's something that you're really interested in and something that you really want to do, I advise that you stay in school, you work hard, you educate yourself on that. And you can do and be anything you want to be. You just have to study for it. Definitely stay in school because school is important. And you have to enjoy what you're doing. And I've always enjoyed helping people. And I get I get a big kick out of when I talk to the public. I've always been in customer service. So I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy helping people solve their problems. But if you ever think about getting a job with the city, there's a lot of advantage to it. And you can do just like I did. You can start in one job and you can move up the ladder. And with that said, does anyone have any questions about the treasurer and what the treasurer does? Yes, young man. Just a minute, I'll bring the mic over to you.
So do you also monitor like business taxes and things like that?
His question was, do I also monitor business taxes? Yes. A lot of the businesses throughout the city, they have to pay taxes to the city. So I have a group of auditors that have records. When you have a business, you have to get an ID number to identify your business. And then what happens is you get set up for certain taxes that you have to pay to the city. And when you don't pay those taxes, our auditor looks at your account. And what they do is they call you up and say, hey, okay, I'm looking at your account and you haven't paid your taxes. So that's when we have one of our auditors meet with that person and have them pay what they need to pay. Is there any other questions? Well, I really thank you for your attention today. I hope you enjoy your time here at City Hall and enjoy your stay and enjoy what your parents do, learn what your parents do, and everyone have a good day, and thank you.
So now we're going to introduce our next guest speaker. Are you ready?
Bruce Krause.
So good morning, everybody. You know, this is where I get to work. You're in the room where I get to work. And I was just wondering if anyone had an idea of the job that I get to do in this room where I work. Anybody want to guess? Sure, go ahead. You're so good. We make the laws. And what does that mean? It's probably a little bit easier to say we make the rules here, right? That society operates by a set of standards, much like going to school. You have a set of rules that you follow, and that's pretty much the job that we do here. We set that standard. And then we also work in conjunction with our treasurer. She collects the money, but we have to decide how to spend the money. That's really our main job here. Where do we have to spend money, and where's the biggest needs, whether it's fixing your roads, whether it's hiring police officers and firefighters, whether it is picking up the garbage and all those kinds of things. That's what we get to do here. Now, I kind of thought I was going to have to speak a little bit longer here, but I'm not really going to have to because we have a special guest here who's in the middle of taking a picture. But when he finishes taking the picture, I'm going to bring him up and introduce him, and maybe we can talk to you together. There he is.
Bruce. They're not saying boo, they're saying Bruce.
Bruce. So this gentleman here, you probably already know who he is. He's the mayor, and I have known the mayor for a while now. It's been a long time. And so we have a bit of a friendship. We work together very well. We sort of see things kind of the same way, and we have a nice cooperative relationship between the city council and the mayor's office, and we work pretty hard to get some good things done. So with that, it's my pleasure and honor to introduce our mayor, Bill Peduto, and maybe he and I will sort of go back and forth a little bit if you have some questions or comments, okay?
First off,
Here.
no, you get that. Look, I always wanted to come up here and do like 3 minutes, and I may soon. You guys don't behave well. No. Hey, guys, first off, to all the city employees that are here, thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for making this city the best city that it can possibly be. Thank you for putting your heart into your work. And thank you for caring about this city and caring for other people. We all decided to get involved in public service to be able to help other people. And you guys are out there every day showing it. And I know a lot of times people don't take the time to say thank you, but they'll not wait a minute to tell you when we're wrong. Thank you for being able to understand that and to do the jobs the way that you do. We have a good team together, and I'm proud to have served 22 years working for this city and working side by side with you. To the kids that are here, how do you not have to go to school today? Do they make some special rule, or do you just like skip out? Yeah? You're skipping, all right. Well, what you're gonna get to see today is where your moms and dad work, but more importantly, what I want you to take a look around and see is how everything that people don't have to think about, everything that it takes to run a city, your parents are doing it on a daily basis. So no matter whether it's coming up to a red light and the other light turns green, or whether it's being able to manage the finances of the city, or whether it's being out there protecting people through fire, police, EMS, building inspection, all the different parts, making sure our parks are there for the kids and for seniors, making sure that our streets aren't falling apart, making sure that everything that is involved with the city, your parents and grandparents are taking care of that. And here's the best part. It all works as a team, just like a football team that has different positions and different people that play critical roles. That's what city government is. And we're on the front lines every single day working to make people's lives better. So enjoy your day off. I'm sure there's going to be some cookies and treats and other things everywhere you go. Don't eat too much. You'll get like me. But take a moment to understand how important it is what your parents do. And understand this, a lot of times people forget to say thank you to them. So don't forget today to let them know how much they mean to you. And to parents, thanks. And thanks for sharing your families with all of us today.
And guess what?
What? We got money?
Guess what?
You got money?
My name is on the mayor's paycheck too.
Yes, it is. I just want you to come one day and just tell me, Mayor, we found millions. Thanks, guys. Where'd Bruce go?
As long as we have the mayor here, who would like to ask him a question? I bet you there's a couple of people. You put your hand up right away. Is it hard or easy being the mayor? Yeah, that's a good question.
No. Anybody and everybody in this room who works for the city does it because we love it. And we get a great appreciation from it. And it can be the most frustrating job in the world, but it also is rewarding. For my job, it's what I wanted to be, I think, since I was about your age. And I have no intention ever running for any other political office. To me, this isn't a political job. It's a job to be able to try and work every day to make the city a little bit better. And I don't think there's a better job that I could ever have in the rest of my life. So even at the times that the batteries are low and somebody's kicking you and Marty Griffin's not liking you, I always appreciate every day that I get to have this job.
I have another question over here.
Thank you. What's that, guys?
Everything being the mayor.
What's your favorite thing about being the mayor?
Free coffee. Great parking spots. No. I want to get serious, though. But the fact is, I came to work here for 22 years. Same door, walked in, walked out. I was a staff assistant and then a council member and then the mayor. And for 22 years, I'd walk in and I'd always see that person down by the area where you're going through security. And they'd have their giant eagle bag, blue bag, you know what I mean, filled with papers, and frustrated because they had to go talk to Margaret or somebody about paying taxes. And I'd just say to them, hey, can I help you? And they're like, I got to go to the finance department. I go, okay, get on this elevator, go to the second floor, make a left, and just ask at the desk. They'd be okay. Now when I walk in and I do that and I see the person messing with their papers, I say, hey, can I help you? And they go, I got to go to the you're the mayor. And it automatically puts a smile on their face. And having that ability, even when somebody's frustrated, doesn't matter if I walk into a corporate boardroom where CEOs that make 50 times more than me will stand up and say, Mayor, how are you? Or if in a church basement, in a community meeting and a heated issue, people will stop arguing for a second to say, hey, look, it's the mayor. And that's gold. That's, it's hard to describe, but having gone through that same door to work for 22 years, taking that same elevator, it's different and it feels special.
Okay, Mayor, we have another one over here. What's your question?
What does the mayor do?
What does the mayor do? Well, my job is to try and be the general manager, going back to football, not trying to do the job of the people who are in the trenches that are doing it every day, not trying to do the job of the directors who are taking their departments and making them the most efficient and equitable and effective organization, but to sort of be up here at the top. I have a head coach, his name's Kevin Acklin, and he's my chief of staff, and I had a brother I lost last year who gave me the best advice. He said, you know, the British have a really good system. They have a king, and then they have a prime minister. The king's job is to go cut ribbons. The prime minister's job is to run the country. Problem is, you want to be both. He said, you're the king, you cut the ribbons. You let Acklin run the country, and then you count on your workers to be able to take care of the job. So it took me a year to figure that out. I almost died my first year. I was trying to be a council member times 9. But what my job is to sort of say, this is where we want to go. This is where we want to be. These are the goals we want to get to, department by department, and how it sort of all fits together, and let the people in this room do it.
Hey, Mayor, we got another question over here.
What inspired you to become a politician?
So what inspired me to become a politician? I grew up in a family that didn't even have a yard sign in their yard, or didn't know what the committee was, Democratic or Republican committees, till I was in my 20s. I think I understand it now. Probably could change though. But I had a family that the only 2 people in my family that ever had a government check were my uncle, who was a state trooper, and then the chief of police in Scott Township, and my brother, who was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. So I really didn't even have a connection to government, but I always loved it. I loved history. And on Sundays, we used to gather at my house for Sunday dinner. And my grandfather, who was from Italy, would sit there and with my uncle and my dad and my brothers, and they would talk about what was happening. And I was the youngest of 4. And I used to think, wow, these folks are so smart. They know about all this stuff going on. And I just started listening and got more interested and loved history and sort of followed that path. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was the president of the student body, but I couldn't tell my parents because they just wanted me to do good in school and not get involved in other activities. But I was always going on that route. My dad's advice, again, was at least get a real estate license, so you have something to fall back on, so you're not in the streets.
Okay, one more question, and then we're going to take a picture.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
Okay.
Bruce, I got my coffee. I can do anything right now.
What do you do when you're mayor?
And will you ask Bruce too?
You rich.
Wow. So what I do as the mayor is I do a lot of things. It's sort of like having a remote control in a cable station with 5,000 stations. And one day you're sitting there and you're finding out that steel bridges can burn. And the next day you're finding out that there's 300 Civil War era cannonballs that have detonation inside that could blow up Lawrenceville. And so you never know what it is. No matter what the situation is or what your schedule says you're going to do that day, they throw you some curveballs. So I like that, though. And am I rich? No. I worked 22 years with the city, and they didn't pay me well in council. You paying your staff well?
No, sir, but you can send that bill over anytime.
All right. So I saved my money, and I bought a townhouse, and I still live in my townhouse, and I'm not married. I don't have kids, so what I spend my money on are my nephews and nieces and me and that townhouse that's sort of falling apart right now. So anybody interested in a townhouse in Point Breeze, it's much more of a house than I need right now, and I don't have time to take care of it. Listen, folks, again, thank you. And I hope you guys have fun today. I hope that, yeah, thanks. No, you can applaud. It's fine. I hope you have fun today in learning what your moms and dads do. Thank you.